So I thought I'd do a quick walkthrough of the new shack since the tower project. I had moved my shack from upstairs to this room here in the basement. So this is just a quick walkthrough. That's my workstation over there, and I moved the tool chest to here and basically sorted out the parts and such. Not a big deal, but anyway, so that's that, and that's the sun socket energy bar, and these are Bofong handhelds I use for my family stuff. That's a printer and the home server. That's the Yaesu Shack to Go. I did a separate video series on that. And here's this side of the town is the shack. This dual monitor setup is the ham workstation. It keeps track of the APRS, the packet radio, PSK31 related activities, and that's the Kenwood 710G. I use that as my main APRS for terrestrial project. For the terrestrial APRS work. However, I have since moved that operation to this Yaesu FT2900 for a longer range. That's a power supply, the FP1030A, the Daiwa CN801 watt NSWR meter. That's a dummy load from MFJ. That's the added power supply for outdoor type of activities. The Rig Expert. The Yaesu 897, I use this primarily for HF nowadays, and PSK31 type of operations. On the top there is the watt meter from LDG. It's also an SWR meter. In the back you see that little USB, not the USB but data Bluetooth dongle that allows for controlling the device through Ham Radio Deluxe wirelessly. That works really well. That's the Yaesu Frogger 100. Use this for shortwave listening mostly. That's the Cantronics 9612 Plus. I use that for POXAG paging experiments. On the top here, those are my handhelds, the two FT1Ds, and in the back that's the MFJ 888 frequency counter. I'm currently experimenting, just changed my APRS-IS radio from the FT2900 to Yaesu VX8R and see how that performs tonight. In fact, I just changed it this morning, so we'll have to see how it performs for a couple of pass-throughs. That's the Microsat WX3-in-1 Mini. That's the iGate digipeater for APRS-IS operations that's connected to the VX8R. Currently it's operating only as an iGate, so no digipeater is required. This is the terrestrial APRS digipeater and iGate that's connected to the FT2900 over here. In the back there is the Kenwood, the back end of the TM D710GA. That's a front end and that's a back end. And here comes the Yaesu Fusion repeater. I've been trying and testing the auto the last couple of weeks. It's been working okay. So I need to do a few more tests, perhaps this weekend. On the top there is the Yaesu software running the WiresX, the HRI200. That's connected to the Yaesu Fusion repeater. In the back, just some standard wiring and switches. This is the 433920 MHz POXAG encoder transmitter. I did a separate video on that. So since I moved to this shack, it has worked out okay in the sense everything is self-contained in one spot. And you probably have noticed the this one here in the back behind the door. That's the conduit for the cables to come in from the outside through the siding and into the house. Those are the coax cables from the antenna tower, and that's a box where they all collect into, and that kind of feeds the equipment. The power cable here, this is for the battery outside for the tower winch to keep it charged when not being used, and some parts bins, etc. So again, nothing fancy, it's the same stuff, just rearranged a little bit to suit the new location. Just a quick close-up view of this. You probably have seen my other videos of this shack to go. That's the FT857D. That's the ATAS-120A. You got the WhatsApp meter, the Cantronics KPC3 Plus, the solar charge controller, the wiring box, the laptop that goes in the backpack, the toolbox over here, and the microphone and so forth. This is the tower with the GP9 up on the top and GP3 a few feet below. The GP3 serves for the APRS-IS operations, and the GP9 serves for the terrestrial APRS and the 442175 repeater. And here's the base of the tower with the winch. You probably saw my other videos and so forth. So that box there is the outside facing box. the the antenna cables go into the box and through the siding into the house, like we saw earlier. And this box over here acts as a junction box for the grounding and the ground plate for the lightning arresters in there. So this box kind of provides the shelter from rains and whatnot. So that's the tower from the other videos you saw. It's the GP3 and the GP9. So we added a cradle, or actually a nest up on the top. As you can tell, it's mounted to the peak of the house there, in the soffit area. That provides a sort of like a bracket to hold the tower while it's up. So it keeps the tower a little bit sturdier during winds and so forth. And that's the pulley for the winch on the top there, and the bottom here is a super winch. So here's the view from the outside of the shack room. The place is still being cleaned up after I started the mess, so I'll probably take care of it during the weekend. So anyways, so I'd still need to do some patchworks for some paint work here and there, but so yeah, overall that's a quick tour. I'll add more videos to this series. One of the things I tried a couple of days back is this Jetstream N0AGI for the... I was trying to experiment. It's a 5-element N0AGI dual band antenna by Jetstream. It worked pretty good, but not so much for my particular situation. But it has been very sensitive antenna in my experiments, at least. The big 3 elements are the 2 meters for the 2 meter antenna. The little ones are for the 70 centimeter. So I tried this for my APRS, terrestrial APRS directional. Tried it facing it to the north. The north is already flooded with digipeaters and so forth. I tried pointing it to the south. I got some good reception, good traffic from there. I wanted to test it facing westward, because these North and South Dakota areas has some gaps from a propagation standpoint. So I was hoping to use this for the North and South Dakota way, westward from me, from where I live. And I'll probably try that at some point in time. I tried using the alligator clip here to tune the element for a lower SWR. By using the alligator clip, I was able to get the SWR down to 1.02. That's with a 60 foot LMR 400, which was quite impressive. I tested with the Daiwa watt meter and the SWR, and had a pretty good response. I think it fluctuated. I should say it fluctuated between 1.02 to 1.13. I think it was, but yeah, the alligator clip seemed to have worked, so I'll probably keep that in mind. So I was originally planning on giving this antenna back, but I used it a couple of times, so I'll probably keep it and use it as my experiment antenna. Now this one here, this Linksys wireless router, it's a modified Linksys router to serve as a standalone Wi-Fi gateway for field-ready APRS-I gate. You probably saw my video from a couple of weeks back. This battery minder here, it keeps the two batteries in the shack to go. I don't know if you can see it properly, but it's in there. The two batteries charged while trickle charged while not being used. There's some cables coming in the back from these radios for programming the Kenwood, the Yaesu, and a few others over here. But that's a quick tour. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.